Hello. I'd like to talk with you about how to create a proper works cited page today. And so here is one from one of my students. The first thing I want you to notice is that this document has margins that are correct, 1 inch all the way around. Up in the upper right hand corner you see a correct page number. This should be the person's last name, 1 space, and then the number. If you add a header in there, it should automatically put the page number in there for you. All right, so let's take a look at the title, Works Cited. That is what it is called, not bibliography. Okay, works plural, works cited. And you'll notice that it is not underlined, it's not in bold, it's not italicized. It is typed just regularly like the rest of the paper. You do have a capital W and a capital C, all right, with 1 space in between them. And of course, this is centered. All right, now let's look at the overall spacing. So you can see that this is double spaced all the way through. So that means within the entry and between the entries, everything is double spaced. All right, you'll also notice in terms of format that the second line on each of these, you see that how it is indented there where I'm showing you with my cursor? That is called a hanging indent. So the citation, this first one here, the Chris Fern one, here's the correct language for that. This is known as a source citation. All right, it's a source that this person has used in the paper, and it has all of the identifying information in it. So as we write this, create this, we go on to the second line, we do indent. Okay, so that again is the hanging indent. And you'll notice that on each of these. Okay, all right. Now, the next thing I want you to notice is that all of these entries are in alphabetical order. Okay, and I want to talk about that, and it's alphabetical order by author last name. Now, the second one does not have an author, and that happens sometimes. And so we alphabetize by the first letter of the title, and we work that in. So F-E-F-I, and then N-U, so that's in alphabetical order. Now, one point I do want to make is that if you have an article and it begins with a, an, or the, you skip that and you go to the next word and use the first letter of the next word for alphabetizing. Okay, so in other words, don't use the article at the beginning. Don't use a, an, or the. All right, so let's look at this first one. So this is generally the format. So we're going to have last name of the author, comma, 1 space. You should always have 1 space after all of your words in your paper, and then there's a period at the end. Then you have the title of the article. Please note that this article title is properly capitalized. So all of the major words are capitalized. We have quotation marks around it, and please note where the period is. See the period? It's inside that last quotation mark. Okay? Then we have the journal title, which is italicized. Okay? Then after that, you're going to want to follow all of this punctuation. This is proper punctuation. You have the volume number, you have the number, the date, and here we have the inclusive page numbers. And what does that mean? Well, it means that if I go to the Oxford Journal of Archaeology and I look through it, I will find this article right here on pages 311 to 316. And you have to give the inclusive page numbers, okay, meaning, the page numbers of the article, not just the page number that you used for your research. Now, within the body of your paper, you will only include, as you are documenting your information, you will have that page number that you used. But on the works cited page, we're going to put the inclusive page numbers, okay? Now, after this, moving on, same entry, we have the database name. In this case, EBSCOhost. And there is this thing here called a DOI, okay, right here. And DOI, lowercase, that means Digital Object Identifier. And that's basically an address. It's an internet address. And these are very stable. They don't change. They don't move. You know, sometimes when you look something up and it's on the internet and then you go back with the same URL later, it's not there anymore. It's moved. It's changed. Okay, so these are considered very stable. And the more credible sources have these. Scholarly sources always, well, increasingly, have DOIs. Okay, so if you have a DOI, that is great, and you definitely want to use it. After this, there is an access date. Now, access dates are optional with MLA since 2016. I do like my students to use them. You'd have to ask your teacher if she wants you to use an access date, but that is the date that you found the information. And you'll notice that this is inverted just like the date on the heading of your paper. So it's not October 2. There is no comma here. It's 2 October 2019 with a period. I want you to note that on all of these entries at the end there you have a period. So every entry ends with a period. All right, I want to point out that this next one, I don't know why this says pages 9 to 9. I mean, that's obviously an error. It would be one page 9, or it might be pages 8 to 9 or 7 to 9. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. But anyway, this one is from JSTOR. And some of you may be using JSTOR, and I want you to notice the address on this one. We don't have a DOI, and that's, you can't make one up if there isn't one. And this article didn't have one, but it had, this is called a permalink, really. That means it's considered permanent, and it says stable. So, that's the next best thing. The DOI is the best. Permalink is the next best. And then when, you don't have anything else, I mean, what can you do? You have to use the URL. I mean, that's all you have. I want you to notice on this, do you see where it starts with www? There's no http : // That's not there anymore. So you should not have that. You should only have the www. Okay? All right. And the next one, we have this article, Gems of Discovery, and it comes from History Today, which is italicized. And again, it's pretty much, like the others. Okay? So that is a really nice looking Works Cited page. I want to show you something else on the OWL at Purdue, which I have pulled up. All you have to do is just Google OWL at Purdue, and this is a site that's maintained by Purdue University. And you click on MLA, and I want to show you something here. Everybody see where I am, MLA Formatting and Style Guide. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down. You have to kind of work around these ads. And I want you to see over here, they have the basic format for the Works Cited page, which I just went through with you. But they have books, they have periodicals, that's like a magazine, paper magazine. I want to show you this next one though here, the MLA Works Cited electronic sources. So you click on that, right? And you're going to have all of these different options. So citing an entire website. I'm going to go through these. I think most of you might cite a page on a website. Probably not the whole website. But anyway, they have some examples here on how to do that. How about an ebook? Some of you might use an ebook, and so here's how you're going to document that. We have an image. I'm going to keep going. Look, an article in an online scholarly journal. Here's what I was just showing you on the student example, an article from an online database, because we had EBSCO, we had JSTOR, so, here you've got ProQuest, all of these other ones here, okay? And you can access all of these through the Lassiter Cobb County Library system. But anyway, so these are some examples like we just talked through. We have some others as we go down, all kinds of different electronic sources. But I think the one that most of you will probably use will be the article from an online database, or this one that I was showing you here, but maybe an ebook or a page on a website, okay? So I wanted to show you that so you can see where it is, because that's where it is. We want to use good sources, and there it is. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask your teacher. Take care.